Hello, guys. Welcome back to Faith Movies. Today's movie recap will be a drama and romance movie from 2018 called God Bless the Broken Road. Warning, there are spoilers ahead. The film starts with soldiers driving through an Afghan desert. Sarge and Johnson chat about food while Nelson, tired of the topic, asks for a change of subject. Sarge jokes with Nelson about going home soon and promises a church barbecue with Amber, though Nelson shows little interest in church activities. Meanwhile in Kentucky, Amber, Darren's wife, tries to convince their daughter Bree to go to church, despite Bree's reluctance and missing her father. Amber encourages her, saying her father will be home soon, which lifts Bree's spirits, and they head to church where Amber plays guitar. During the service, two soldiers enter and approach Amber, who starts crying, sensing bad news. They confirm her husband was killed in action, leaving the congregation to console her. 2 years later, the city looks somber and leafless. Amber, still grieving, is reminded by Bree about bringing snacks for Sunday school. A race car driver, Cody, visits a car shop and chats with the owner, Joe, about cars and church. Amber and Bree get ready for church when a man hands Amber a legal notice. At church, Joe hints to Cody that Amber is out of his league, but also ropes him into volunteering for the youth program. Amber works at a diner, inquiring about a job opening, but is reminded to prioritize her current role. The pastor and kids at church discuss faith and resilience. Amber meets with her mother-in-law at the diner, who criticizes Amber's stability for Bree and offers business help, which Amber declines. Cody engages with excited kids about go-karts, but struggles with their questions. Amber runs into Sergeant Price, who invites her and Bree to the base for fun activities. At home, Bree talks about a mustard seed from Sunday school, sparking a conversation about faith. Cody seeks advice about Amber from Joe. Amber opens the yellow envelope to find an eviction notice and later learns from a bank manager about the risk of losing her home. At home, church friends visit, urging Amber to return to church, but she resists, feeling betrayed by God. Bree and a friend meet Cody to work on go-karts, showing him her father's patch. Amber's coworker mentions that Nelson, now wheelchair-bound, asked about her. Joe's shop becomes a gathering spot where Bree shares her go-kart project with her grandmother. Cody visits Amber at work to ask her out, but she declines. Later, as Amber returns home, her mother-in-law comments on the noticeable absence of some household items and expresses concern about the lack of food for Bree. The next morning, Cody and Joe are at the racetrack where Cody is practicing his driving. Frustrated, Cody tells Joe he'd rather crash his car than drive slowly and lose. Meanwhile, Amber visits a pawn shop to borrow $800 despite having nothing to pawn. The pawnbroker agrees, but charges a 38% interest with a 2-week repayment term, which Amber accepts before heading to the bank. The bank manager questions her ability to make the next payment soon and suggests she consider selling her house, but she refuses. Amber then watches the kids work on their go-kart. Her daughter, Bree, tells her she wants to walk home with a friend, and Amber, needing to run an errand, agrees. As she leaves, Cody catches up and invites her on a date, which she accepts. That evening, 2 church members help Amber get ready, boosting her confidence for the date. When Cody picks her up, he notices a photo of her husband and asks about his death. On their date, Cody and Amber play Scrabble and share personal stories. Meanwhile, Grandma Patty brings groceries for Bree, makes ice cream sundaes, and discovers a foreclosure notice while Bree sleeps. After their date, Amber comes home with Cody but is confronted by Patty about her financial troubles, leading to a heated argument and Patty being sent away in anger. The next day, Joe continues to advise Cody on racing cautiously, but Cody remains dismissive. Amber arrives with lunch, which they all share, and Joe invites her and Bree to a weekend race. After lunch, Cody and Joe teach Amber to drive a race car. At school, Bree confides in a friend, David, about missing her dad and feeling distant from her mom. When some boys bully David, Bree stands up for him. The school calls Amber, who scolds Bree. Amber informs Bree that she must accompany her to the diner, despite Bree's wish to stay with her grandma. At the diner, Amber checks her voicemails and learns her mortgage has been transferred to a third party, requiring full payment or her house will be auctioned. Heartbroken, she returns to the pawn shop for another loan, but without clearing her debt first. Reluctantly, she pawns her wedding ring. The pawnbroker remarks on the ring's quality, and upon learning of her husband's death, Amber leaves in tears. Grandma Patty visits Amber, suggesting she take Bree so Amber can sort out her issues. Noticing Amber's missing ring, Patty suspects it's about Cody, but Amber dismisses her concern. Patty realizes Amber sold the ring. The next day at work, as Bree tries to do her homework and distract Amber, Amber almost breaks a cup, but Nelson, a former colleague of her husband, catches it. He offers to talk, but Amber is too busy. Bree is thrilled to meet someone who worked with her dad. As Nelson leaves, Amber's boss reminds her that Bree's meals aren't free. Cody walks in and offers to cover the cost of Bree's food. During Cody's race on the weekend, he starts feeling nervous. Despite the support from Bree and Amber, he loses control of his car and crashes, alarming everyone. Thankfully, he's not hurt, and the paramedics confirm he's fine, relieving everyone. Amber takes Bree home right after. The next day, Joe scolds Cody for not heeding his advice to slow down. At home, Amber tells Bree they won't be building the go-kart anymore, which upsets Bree, and she runs out. Amber then sees that her house is up for auction and quickly removes the sign. After taking her daughter to school, she hurries to the bank, pays all the money she has, though it's not the full amount, and leaves angrily. Soon after, it's evident that their house has been sold as Amber and Bree move into a smaller apartment. This situation deeply saddens Amber, but her friends help them settle in and reassure her that things will eventually get better. Later, we see Grandma Patty at Darren's grave as she tells him she's trying to help his family. The scene then shifts to Amber's friends praying for her while Amber tries to unpack in tears. Later, Bree and the other kids practice on their go-karts when Amber comes and forcefully takes her child away, ignoring Cody. When they get home, mother and daughter have a heated argument, causing Bree to say she wishes Amber had died instead. Bree runs into her room to discover her plant has died. Amber then runs into the house wanting to talk with her daughter, but discovers Bree has broken her plant pot, shattering all her hard work. We then see Bree running away from home in tears while her mother calls out for her. Soon, everyone in the church, including Cody and Joe, begins looking for Bree. Grandma Patty then arrives at the scene and confronts Amber. Soon it begins to rain. Cody and Nelson go together. Nelson tells Cody that Darren saved his life. Soon we see Bree in her go-kart being pulled over by Officer Price. She's returned to her grandmother, and Amber immediately arrives at the scene. She then tries to take her daughter home, but Bree insists she wants to stay with her grandma. Amber is unable to convince her daughter to stay with her, so she leaves dejected. Bree stops at the church and begins to scream, saying God has taken everything from her, and cries, asking for God. Just then, Nelson appears to comfort her. She's then taken to meet other church members who also comfort her. Then, Nelson tells her Darren saved his life, explaining how the incident that took his life happened. They had been attacked by insurgents. Before dying, Darren gave Nelson his necklace. Nelson then gives the necklace to Amber. The day after, Amber goes to meet Grandma Patty holding coffee and asks that they talk. Amber then begins to apologize for their loss and promises to settle their issues. Patty then brings out the ring Amber had sold earlier and tells her it's a family heirloom and gives it to Amber. Bree then walks in, and Amber immediately apologizes, and they all go to Darren's grave to pay their last respects. She then gives her daughter a letter Darren had written to them before he died. The duo cries as they read the letter. Days later, Cody addresses the entire church as the kids race with their go-karts. After this event, Cody shows Amber and Bree a new race car he got that turns out to be the exact copy of Bree's go-kart. Bree realizes Cody is racing for her dad. They attend another race, which Cody wins. Amber also returns to the church and resumes singing. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to give a thumbs up and subscribe. Your support is appreciated. Remember, Jesus loves you. Have a blessed day, and see you next time.